Hey, Sean G here from Chasing the Truth. You're about to get some of the best of samples of shows I've done over the last 5 years. God bless y'all and enjoy. So, what's your? Have you ever seen a UFO personally?
Yes, I have. I've seen daytime ones while I was playing catch with my neighbor just recently, probably 2 or 3 months ago. And then one time we had something dash in front of us when we were, under the influence of some stuff. And we didn't even mention it to each other, me and my best friend Jake, until after. And it just froze. And we're like, do you see that? And then it turned into a line. And it felt like it was manipulating our minds. It's just I've had a new respect for the skies ever since then, and I'm big on getting your own moonlight because I'm not big on moonlight being reflection of the sun. I don't believe that. I think the moon is its own deity, and the moonlight is very valuable. It is good for your skin. It's good for your mind. It makes you dream, and everybody's heard of the moon water and different smells and candles you can use to really induce some deep thoughts.
I also use moonlight to charge up crystals as well.
Yes, yes. I forgot to touch on that, but yes, that is yes, 1,000,000%. And I love the ideas about crystals. Once they serve their purpose, they can vanish. They're made out of the same energy, like I was saying before, particle and waveform. Once they are them true self, boom, waveform. They're not particle anymore. And people have a hard time believing that, but come on, guys, we dream and we make worlds in our sleep, and then we wake up with amnesia, and we want to act like that's normal. I saw someone mention that online, and I just think that's so genius. I'm like, oh my gosh, we act like everything's so normal in this fairy tale. We spell words. It's called a fairy tale. We leave our teeth under our pillow for the tooth fairy, and then people want to make fun of me for loving the fae or fearing the fae. Come on, guys. It's not all Tinkerbell. It's some real stuff.
Yeah, touch back on the little people. I would never want to see a little person, or not a little person cryptid, to be more specific. Because the tales I heard about what's coming out of Canada with these cryptid little people, if you make a deal with them, you get it's not good for you. They'll take
Yeah,
what
you
they
never come out
want.
on top.
No,
Right.
but anyway, let's see. One of the intriguing things that I saw on your accounts that you posted was something about a cryptid finger bone.
Yes, yes. That has made a pretty big buzz recently, and I did a lot of talking about it today at Infinity Con because we had pictures of it, and Ronnie, who discovered it, he was there. He's an Army veteran. He actually was stationed at Fort Lewis, in Washington, where
Uh,
the Sasquatch sightings are flowing through the roof. And Steve Isdall from How to Hunt just posted a video about how one was killed there decades ago. So it's just magical. But Ronnie is a ninja, and he's a gatherer, a hunter, a tracker, and he's really took me under his wing around here. But recently, a couple months ago, through the pandemic, he found a first metacarpal thumb bone of a mound builder. That's my guess what it is, but it also could be a giant sloth, a short-faced cave bear, or some kind of unknown creature that we have no clue. But it has matched up with the first metacarpal thumb bone, and that thumb bone is almost as big as our thumb. So in experience, think and just visualize it, how tall and big that creature is. And some people are like, oh, that's just a man. Well, first of all, the bone's petrified, so it's very, very old. And even if it is man, that man was 9 feet tall, between 9 and 14 feet tall, or this creature was ginormous. So no matter what, it's some prehistorical magic. And we actually got in touch with Josh Gates and his production team recently, and they were trying to squeeze us into Expedition X this season. But I don't think they're going to be able to squeeze it in. So hopefully season 4, and they want to get it tested. And I was a little leery of getting it tested because I've heard the Sasquatch DNA, how it comes back. It already has came back. It's unknown male and human female, and that the female comes from Asia, Africa, Australia, South America. There's different heritage and lineages. It's amazing. But if there's any kind of human DNA, it's tampered with. it's messed up, so they don't accept it. But these creatures are some type of human. There's a story of Zana out in Russia where, men mated with her, and they have pictures of her son, and they got his skull after he passed away, and it was a little bit different than ours. So, I don't think they're bears unless bear can, mate with humans. These things have vocal range. They have chatter. They can speak English. They speak native tongue, samurai chatter, One interesting theory about the samurai chatter was how a lot of Asians came over and worked on the railroads. So, the Sasquatch would be like listening close to them yelling on the train, maybe. But, I think the samurai chatter goes back farther than that. But maybe they did pick up some, at least American Sasquatches picked up on some Great Wall, tendencies. Why was the Great Wall built? Dragons, of course. The Zodiac, they only talk about real animals, and the dragons mentioned. We have to start opening our eyes. It's right in front of our face. Jack and the Beanstalk. It's right there.
Well, I've heard Bigfoot has the ability to try to mimic just about everything, from car alarms on the side of a mountain up in Washington State. A buddy of mine, Vault of Nightmares, another big YouTuber and part of the Dark Waters family, he said he was on an expedition to find, I forgot what he was hunting for. Lakea, you could probably help me on this. Lakea is his wife, and in the chat room over on the Dark Waters channel. But they were up on the side of a mountain. I think it was that volcano up there in Washington State that blew its top. But it was on the side of the mountain, and nobody was around, no roads, nothing. And all of them were taking a break and eating whatever protein bars or whatever was available at that time. And they heard a car alarm, a weird sounding car alarm going off. And they said, well, is there a road around here? And they spent biggest part of the day getting to where they were. And one of them got kind of ticked off saying, hey, we could have a road up here. And said, no, there's no roads up here. And next thing I think Walt went to the direction, and they found Bigfoot tracks right around where he thought he saw that or heard that Bigfoot. He surmised that Bigfoot was making a car alarm call, and he found out that he kind of put a bunch of stuff together, clues and stuff, that there was a ranger station pretty close by, and one of the car alarms were going off quite a bit over at that ranger station. So that's where he thinks that they came up with and started mimicking a car alarm.
Yeah, I'd say he's right on, because I've heard, machinery, equipment, and just loved ones' voices pretty much can mimic anything. Every animal, every sound in the forest. Raven mockers, that's what they call, of course, strange creatures. Of course, there might be some difference between raven mockers and Bigfoot, but yes, the Bigfoot can mimic everything. Their vocal cords go way beyond everything humans can do. I love the Sierra sounds, of course, the Ohio howls. I actually record a couple strange sounds on my GoPro, and I upload them to my YouTube channel, Bigfootanon. And then I actually interviewed this guy recently, and he sent me this screaming yelp, and it's very low on my phone, the volume, but you can hear it's loud in the sound. So I just have to edit it up or, send it to the right people. But yeah, it's some freaky stuff. And that's, just within 20 miles from here. And, the Creature from the Black Lagoon was filmed around here. And of course, my favorite story is the Ocheesee Pond Wild Man. It's a very undertold story in the Bigfoot world. I was telling it today at the table, and they're like, why hasn't this been on TV? I'm like, honestly, I think it's so good that they can't put it on TV. But, in the 1800s, they captured one of these wild men in Ocheesee Pond, and they circled him with Indian gatherers and Civil War veterans just because he was harassing the people of the swamp way too bad. So they all banded together and captured this man with nets, and they sent it to Tallahassee. The governor said, no way. They sent him to Chattahoochee Hospital.
Hey, folks, thanks for listening to this best of sample of some of my 5 years in doing this radio show podcast called Chasing the Truth. Please visit IamDarkwaters.com, or you can email me at SeanG at IamDarkwaters.com. And my numbers and links are in the description below. God bless y'all, and I'll catch you on the flip side.